Welcome everyone, James here. Today we are going to be looking at this aquarium heater by a company called Hygger or Hygger, I can never pronounce it. The reason why I wanted to take a look at this is because of this tank right behind me here. Now in this aquarium, right in this filter chamber right here, is a long thin tubed type heater, and it's the bane of my life in this tank because as soon as the water level starts to drop or any water evaporates, because I've got such a big heater in there, it then the water level tends to creep up slowly towards that heater, and then obviously I have to do an emergency water change, so I'm constantly keeping an eye on it and it's driving me absolutely crazy. So I'm hoping with something a bit different like this one, as you can see on the box description there, it's a different type of unit, so I'm hoping that I might be able to shove the actual heating element towards the bottom but still retain that power to keep the fish tank heated well enough. So without further ado, let's flip the camera and take a look at the box. So here's the box. It's quite a beastie looking size and everything. The box itself is pretty decent. It doesn't seem to have taken too much of a battering in transit. And yeah, once we open it up, we've got to find out where the bit is to actually get in the box itself. As you can see right here, so we have the user manual, and inside obviously giving you lots of manual, obviously giving us lots of different bits and pieces on the heater itself and best placement for it. It's just interesting with this one, obviously you can have the heater upright and you can also have it flat down. I don't know why you'd have it laying completely flat on the aquarium surface there, but yeah, as you can see, it's a 500 watt heater, so it's plenty full and should produce quite an impact of power and heat. And what's really cool about this one is it's got a digital output that you have outside the aquarium, which will tell you all your temperatures and everything else. You can see it'll give you different bits and pieces, and look, it says that there's an icon that comes up that says the heating rod is out of the water, and it will show a fault code, so that's pretty cool. So if we move this away, wow, I didn't realize how much of a size that heater is. That is ridiculous. Like, yeah, I mean, that is a hench piece of kit right there. I thought that this was actually going to be quite small, so yeah, it surprised me. But I mean, overkill, yes, but at least hopefully it won't fail. So you can see that the second unit there is the actual display element, and you get a couple of suction cups as well as the power cord. So yeah, that is definitely a hench piece of kit right there. So just moving the box out, this is a fair weight in all fairness, isn't it? I mean, it's quite sturdy as well. I can't see, I mean, there's a couple of sort of more softer pieces of plastic on there, but I mean, I shouldn't imagine you could drop this and break it very easily. This bit is a little bit lighter, but there's a fair weight to this. I mean, if you wanted to, you know, if you go by weight in terms of value and stuff, then yeah, that definitely feels like a great piece of kit. Okay, so the idea is to get this into this aquarium, and ideally I don't want it sticking inside the actual tank here. So what my plan is to put it into the filter chamber. Now that's the filter chamber where the heater is right now. You can see right there, you'll have a look, there's the heater, and it goes right down in there. Now whether I'm going to be able to get this heater into there, I don't know, but I'm going to give it a good go. That is definitely going to last a lifetime in terms of powering this aquarium, so it'd be interesting to see how it works, and yeah, if I notice any problems. What I'm more interested in is seeing how far out of the water you can have this piece of kit before it starts detecting that it's a danger zone area. Anyways, might as well get it in and see if we can get it working on this tank. So as you can see, before I just get rid of the heater, this is the one I had. It was by a company called Hygger, and it was like a 100-watt heater, I think it was. Yeah, 100-watt there, and yeah, it's done its job, but it's cool to have a spare one. So yeah, we'll get the new one in anyway. So just for context, I turned a light on, but it's really hard to see with the light that I've got. But I mean, that's the plan, to get it in there, but whether it'll fit, I do not know. So for context purposes, you can see that this filter has gone, the heater, sorry, has gone in there. I had to put a bit of an angle just to keep it above the water level, but it seems to be all right at the moment. And yeah, it's looking good. So yeah, we'll plug it in and see how it works. So prior to plugging it in, you can see the water has dropped. According to my Aqaurium controller here, it's saying that the temperature is 21.7. So let's plug it in and see if the temperatures match that's on the unit. All right, so you can see on my temperature controller here, it's currently 26 degrees in the tank. It's obviously been a warm day today when I'm filming, so trying to keep the aquarium cool. But let's plug this in and see if the temperatures match up. So it's currently doing a analysis. So yeah, we're about 26, 27. Hoping that the water's going to cool down at some point. If not, we'll get the fans on and yeah, cool the water down that way. But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty cool from what you can see here. Let's get a bit of a zoom in so we can check it out a bit more detail. All right, so this is the unit itself. So it currently shows the temperature gauge there, and it looks like it oscillates this sort of temperature read. I'm assuming it just gauges like different temperatures as we go in. It says it's working up to a certain temperature as well, so let's see if I can find out. So it wants to set the thermostat as, right, okay, so when you hold it, then you can adjust the temperature. So we want it about 24 degrees. I'd say that that's about as where I want it, so thankfully it won't then come back on. Right, okay. Right, okay, so yeah, it's set. So when you want to change it, you just click the button and hold it, and then you have to cycle through the different temperatures there, as you can see. And then once you're ready to have it set, then you just let go of the button, and then it sets it for you. So you can see that does that for a few minutes, and then it's gone back down. So you can see it's currently 27.1. My temperature from Aqaurium is gauging roughly about the same temperature as well, being that the thermometer for this is sitting almost next to this heater. I'd say we're getting a pretty decent read in there, give or take. So yeah, seems to be working fine. So I'm going to have this hooked up here for a little while. So what I've done is these clips actually go on the heater itself, but there's no way of actually clipping this bad boy anywhere, so I've used this. I'm assuming that they do work there, but it just seems like they don't fit as snug, or they don't sort of feel too right. But yeah, I want to have it here so I can sort of keep an eye on the temperature as we go along. But all seems to be working all right at the moment. We will continue to monitor for a few days and weeks and stuff, and see how we go. And yeah, and I'll check back in and let you know. So just to clarify for measurement, we're at 27.4 and currently the reading is 27.3 on the Aqaurium one, so it looks like they're roughly about the same temperature, which is always a good thing. Alright, so for those of you who don't know, this is the fan that I use. It's a 6-fan system by a company called Boyu, B-O-Y-U, and yeah, it does the job really well. So we keep this on for a little while, and that will cool down the water as we go. So yeah, it's a good fan. It's worked well. I've had this about 2 years now. I don't use it massive amounts, I must admit, but it does come in handy if I do need to cool an aquarium down. So yeah, it's a good piece of kit. Alright everyone, so it's been about 5 weeks now since we hooked up the heater to the aquarium over there, and yeah, I just wanted to give you my feedback on how things have been going. In terms of performance, it's done its job. It's heating up the aquarium absolutely fine. I haven't had no problems with sort of temperature spiking or any issues like that. One time I did notice that the evaporation in the shed, especially with this tank, had pushed the water level lower slightly than the heater, and I thought, oh Christ, this is going to cause some issues with the heater blowing up or causing some sort of issue. But no, it didn't seem to have any effect on the top sort of half of it, so that was nice and reassuring. I didn't get no messages on the controller either, so hopefully that's a good thing. But I've had no problems with that, no warning messages, no strange beeping or anything like that. It's working like a treat, so I can't really complain in terms of its functionality. One thing I do like is the size of it. It's good to have in that marine tank especially. It's nice to have something quite bulky, but also with conventional sort of aquarium heaters where they're them long tubes and everything, they can be quite tricky, I find, to find a nice space for them, and also they're not the best looking. Having said that, this one, if you had that in the actual aquarium itself, I would imagine is a massive eyesore, but being the fact that I've put it in the filter chamber behind me, it's nice and tucked out the way, so I really like that about that. And I also do like the controller there is a bit big, if I'm honest. They probably could have a smaller version of it, or a smaller little box, kind of like the temperature controller there that I've got, or I suppose the Inkbird one is even quite a beast, to be honest. Yeah, I think the controller is quite big, but in terms of its performance and everything, I haven't really had to delve too deep into it. It's only got one button, so there's only one thing to go wrong really. Pricing wise, it's roughly around the £40 marker. I've looked on Amazon and some various other websites on the internet. Seems to be about the marker for it. It's pretty decent. Price wise, it's pretty similar to other heaters, roughly around the same wattage and size, so give or take like a tenner or something, so I guess it's not too bad in that. Obviously it's a bit steep for a aquarium heater. Normally I'm used to only spending about a tenner on them, so hopefully this one will last, being that the price is higher, and the build quality definitely is there. It's very sturdy and stuff. I would imagine it would take a lot to break it, so it'd be interesting to see how it goes like long term, you know, in a couple of years time or whatever. Hopefully it'll last that long. If it does, I'll definitely be doing a revisit to this video. Would I recommend the heater? In terms of build quality, yes I would. It's quite a cool piece of equipment. Whether I'd pay that much myself for a heater probably depends on the size of the tank that I've got. Obviously I haven't got giant tanks or anything like that, so I would imagine this is probably quite well for a bigger aquarium, you know, a few hundred litres and stuff. It's also where to place it. Like I said before, it's always the hard one for me. I've never sort of been fully satisfied on where to put a heater in an aquarium, and I don't think you ever get ones that are particularly attractive. It's just one of those ones where you kind of want them blended into the background, or like I said, most people stick them into a sump or something just to avoid them, or filter chambers. Really, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you've used it before, let me know in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you want to check out some more video reviews that I've done on various different products, including Hygger ones, then click the link right here. I just want to say thanks to the guys at Hygger for gifting me this equipment to review. I really appreciate the support, and until next time, you stay safe.